So, you want to get monetized on YouTube, and I do too. I had a plan to be monetized in 2 weeks, but completely failed. So, if you want to know why I failed and how you can hopefully not fail along with me, follow along to see what it is that I am changing to hopefully turn this around. Because essentially, I have failed big at monetizing in 2 weeks. And I pretty much know most of the reasons why, but there's a few things that I'm going to try to change that I think might actually make a difference. So if it sounds good to you, just keep watching and you can see what it is that I'm changing. All right, so first up is being consistent. So essentially, I started my videos and I got 4 done in the first 3 days being on, because I did 2 right away and then did another one and another one, right? The hope was I was going to front end load it and then be consistent and do 3 a week. Failed immediately, completely and utterly. Got really busy and didn't upload anything. It didn't even record anything for another 9 days. So don't know how you expect to get monetized if you're not consistent. I am now working better at doing this because I really didn't quite see where I was going to have hangups, and the hangups ended up making it to where I didn't want to do it because I was realizing how difficult it was. So skipping the week plus made it really difficult, and then after that I still had delays. Got stuff recorded, didn't get it edited. So being consistent is absolutely the most important part of this. I have failed, and I know that is one of the sections of things that I've been having problems with, that if I get that down, I think the rest of it is even a little bit forgiving. But being consistent is absolutely mandatory for YouTube to actually push you out there. So that's step 1. Okay, so the second thing that I have completely kind of screwed up on here to get monetized is the way that I'm actually getting my videos made from the standpoint of what the idea is, what the information is going to be. So at first I was trying to script everything out, because my main problem is that I have all of the information in my head. I know what I'm talking about, but when I start to think about it, everything comes at my brain at once, and I have all of these thoughts, and I can't actually put them in a cohesive order so that they actually make sense. So I don't want to be jumping from one thing to the next, because I know that's what my brain does. So I tried scripting thinking, oh, well, that will help me. I will just write it all out. I can make my changes. And then if I read it, well, perfect. I've got everything that needs to be said in the right order, and it will actually be helpful to people. But the problem is that I can't read from a script. I tried doing the little teleprompter type thing. Can't do that. It doesn't come off right. It sounds weird. But then I sound weird when I'm trying to pull all of my ideas out of my head and put it in order. So the best thing I have come up with is essentially that I kind of do a rough outline. I make a little more notes. It's a little scripting. But then I go and put the bullet points even finer onto post-it notes. So I've kind of dumped the ideas out and then made them smaller. And now I'm actually just recording those little segments for each post-it note at a time, so that I don't get too off track and too into the weeds and letting my brain go everywhere like it likes to. So this is what this looks like. I have this to remind me. Just set it right there, and it kind of keeps me on track. It's right now the best thing that I have, and I think that actually works better, because the scripting and the trying to read it and make it make sense and sound good was really being a hang up. It took me forever to try to record any videos, and then I didn't want to do them because they were such a pain in the ass. So this is kind of my way to make it better, to keep my brain functioning like a normal person and to actually get these done. So hopefully, maybe if you're having that hang up, that can help you too. Okay, so the third issue that I was having was really about the content that I was doing, because I was trying to rush them. Even though I was still going slow, I was still like getting to the point where, okay, today I have to do this. And then what am I going to do? Okay, well, I need something I can do quick. So then I was just rushing through what would be easy and what I could talk about. But because I was trying to make videos about the challenge that I'm doing in the very beginning, then I was really just talking and not really helping. I wasn't giving any useful information. So at this point, while some of the information I'm giving is talking about what I'm doing, I also have to try to finagle this more in a way that's actually, here's what I'm doing and here's how this helps you. So from that standpoint, from here on out, when I'm actually constructing the ideas for what's going into each video, I'm trying to figure out, okay, if I'm going to talk about what's happening, how does it help somebody else? And how can I tell them, hey, I'm doing this, do it or don't do it, and here's why. So with all of this video, I'm hoping I can tell you all the things I do realize that I'm doing wrong, because I've watched way too many videos from everybody else talking about how to get monetized, how to get your channel to, you know, get your viewers, and actually getting people to stay on and watch longer and all of the stuff. But these are the main factors that I'm realizing are the hang-ups in the beginning, because none of that really matters about how long somebody's staying and watching you or anything if you're not doing anything worthwhile. If you're not consistent, they're not going to come back. If you don't have good enough content that actually gives them something useful, they're not going to come back. If you sound like you're AI just reading along on a script, they're probably not going to want to come back. So that is one of the things I'm trying to do now. So I've been thinking ahead of time, writing down my ideas, then waiting, coming back to them later so that I can actually see what I feel is good enough to actually put out there. I'm not overanalyzing. I'm just giving my brain a little time away from it so that I can come to it with fresh eyes and a new perspective and say, okay, is this actually something useful to somebody? Because if it's not useful, I'm going to try to not just, put this out there in a video. So that is the main part right here, is that I'm going to slow down and actually think about my content a little bit more and how it's actually helping people. Okay, so this is actually my fourth thing that I'm trying to change, and it's about video editing. So in the very beginning, I looked through everything. I tried to find every different software of what people were using, trying to figure out what was going to be the easiest with the shortest learning curve, because I really didn't want to have to spend a lot of time. I'm trying to do this for the challenge for $0 to $1 million in a year. And the thing is, I'm trying to make it to where people can also do this quickly, part-time. If you have to spend a ton of time editing and you have to take the time to learn the software that is not necessarily difficult, just completely foreign to you, that's not going to work well with this challenge. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure this out, and then came across somebody who said, just don't edit. And I thought, great, that sounds amazing. Let's do it that way. So with the way I was changing about how I do my content and make it short clips, I was like, okay, I can either do the short clips or I can just do it to where I talk for 10-15 minutes. I know pretty much what I'm going to say. If I kind of screw up a section, essentially it was, you just stop talking, you pause, you know where to cut it out, you kind of just keep cutting whatever segments, right? You don't nitpick the edits, you just chop it. So I thought, well, that's a lot easier. I had seen where somebody was using CapCut, and a lot of people were using CapCut. And I kind of looked at it, watched some videos, and I thought, okay, not too bad. But still really didn't want to. So what I did was I made it to where I just kept re-recording all of my videos till I got it right in one take, and then was uploading it to YouTube Studio and cutting off the beginning and the end. That was it. I was just trying to make it as simple as possible. That can't be forever because those videos aren't that great. I mean, the content may be fine, but to watch it, to get somebody engaged, to actually keep them going, that's not really going to help very much. So I found somebody who was talking about DaVinci Resolve, and it said, oh, it's free. And I was like, oh, that's great, because it fits completely into the challenge, right? Trying to do this cheap for everybody. So free works great. you don't get all of the features, but there's a lot of features that you don't need in the beginning, right? We're going to keep this as easy as possible. So I wasted a lot of time trying to keep recording my videos where I did it all in one take. That was a pain in the ass. So now I've found a few different videos for DaVinci Resolve, one of which still gotta watch because, my God, it's over 4 hours and it tells you absolutely everything. So I'm eager to watch that. But right now, what I have watched, it's been really helpful and gotten me just enough. So now I'm making the next step to be actually able to use the software. So being able to edit and actually editing for real has been one of the downsides. And I think that kind of doesn't play into monetizing. Granted, I don't have enough videos and I haven't had enough views to really see if the editing part makes a huge difference, but I know it will going forward. And because I've been putting off, usually what I put off tends to be the things that are important. So I know that editing is going to be one of the main things that's going to move me forward and actually make the videos a little more interesting to watch, right? Because you can only listen to somebody drone on for so long. You just need something stimulating to watch. I know people do listen as well and don't watch depending on where they're at. But I want to be able to have these videos be interesting to where people, no matter what they're doing, are wanting to keep watching, keep getting the information. So getting my editing in check is going to be one of the top priorities. All right, this is my fifth and final thing that I'm trying to change at this time to be sure that I can get monetized as fast as possible, considering I've completely failed at getting monetized in 2 weeks. But it's that I need to make the videos and my thumbnails more visually appealing. I'm not too bad with the thumbnails. I do make them in Canva. But I've been really lazy to get good enough photos of me that, I can throw onto the thumbnail. So a couple of them, I really kind of half-assed it. I took a screenshot from one of my videos. The other ones were just a great picture I had that I just kept repeating. And I'm like, well, I know I see other people use the same pictures, but it was like, I need some variation. So I need to kind of get that in line. So I needed more pictures of me, which finally got those done. And then I need a pattern of pictures for the thumbnails that are kind of like consistent. So I start building a brand. So like this is my layout, right? These are the colors I use. So that when somebody sees it, they kind of recognize that and realize that, oh, that's, a Money Renegade video. Oh, I want to watch that. Right? I want it to be able to where it triggers them just to see it. So that's something I need to tweak, along with, obviously, like I said, with the editing, making the videos more visually appealing. So I want more things that actually pull you in, more actually stock footage and things that are relevant to what I'm talking about, but that it's not just me sitting there rambling on. So with those type of things, I think that I will get more people to hopefully click, more people to be engaged, and then from there get more watch time, which leads to hopefully more subscribers. So those things kind of play into the editing, but they are kind of separate because I also have to actually think about what it is that I want the brand to look like. So it's kind of more of a marketing standpoint for this, but it's not the top priority, but it is a priority at this point. So that's where I am with getting monetized. I am so far off as of today, which I think is January 22nd. I've got like just over 3 watch hours. So, hey, not too bad. You never know what's going to happen, right? Anything can just take off. So we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to keep plugging along and keep doing what we're doing. And while I'm doing this, I'm still got the 0 to 1 million in a year challenge going on. So just getting started with that, 3 weeks in. And this is step 1, but I'm also starting to work on the next steps, which the next video is going to be about the different things that I have planned that are going to all piece together to make the million in a year. So I'm hoping that you can enjoy that. And if you have any questions about the challenge or about this video, just leave comments below, subscribe, and until next time, to your financial success.